Hello again. So, the journal intro made a stir sooner than thought. I will answer some things. There's concern with detailing social issues I voiced about the crisis of identity and loneliness. Lately, there has finally been more mainstream headlines on loneliness and suicide. The UK now employs a minister of loneliness, but I don't need that to tell me how detached relations are for the advanced age we live in. I've had several close to me attempt or successfully kill themselves. One of my closest was lucky, though I fear every time he goes silent for too long. When people who feel this way talk to me, they often say how people at work or school shun them based on social status. That's what I set out to destroy long ago. Financial and academic status was such a prominent fear for me growing up that it kept me from engaging in meaningful social interaction. It was one of the first instincts I felt as a child. The more I saw a gap in support I had versus other kids, the more I felt discouraged and insecure. I had one struggling parent, and all it took was a couple of unlucky incidents at school to really change me. Children perceive anything amiss in the environment, even if they can't articulate, and it defines the future. It was just so demotivating that I wouldn't be surprised if it encouraged all sorts of faults, even obesity. There's the so-called hikikomori crisis of Shutins in Japan, who don't engage society anymore. Their connection is clear as day to anyone feeling awful. I raged at how their media treated it like a mystery. It's grown common enough anywhere. Even China has the lying flat issue. Being shut in is often a result of an isolating culture that values slaving and conformity for little praise or connection. Listen to their opinions. I did. They're astute in interviews. So often they mention abuse either in public or at home, and go on to imply it stems from society's illness. Things that defined their impressionable youth. They're being rational as most would be in that spot. If it didn't shut you in, it can manifest as any problem. Society is just selective with what it sees as problems. The more wealth you have, the more exempt you are from pretentious rules. Just look up affluenza, a get-out-of-jail-free card. In a system where anything from grades to relationships are stale transactional goods on a capitalist market, so to speak, even our identity is made sport. When identity is brought to mainstream, it's a cash grab. The ads and movies involved to make a killing while the community stays rife with infighting. All that teaches anyone is every man for themselves. Pride and image hardly do anything because social economic class is never taught. Imagine the scenario. You grow up poor or neglected, but you're also white male whatever. Well, boo-hoo, you're privileged trailer trash that didn't work hard enough. That's an urbanized competitive attitude. No empathy for individual circumstance, just replacing one stereotype for another. That's the game. No one stopped for him, and he'll go on to idolize the privilege as the next relatable thing. Wealth is what binds all identity struggles together as one community. No one is ever going to fully empathize with another group if they can never share a struggle in common. Hoarding wealth and opportunity is what inspired racism and slavery in the first place. The meaning of life is competing for idle status, whether it's jobs, school prestige, or showing off mundane shit. Check social media. Luckily, not everyone is that boring. To those who backstab anyone to climb the social ladder, you're not smarter or stronger. The system is merely leveraged toward your actions. I'm going to prove conscience superior no matter where I started in life. It's become too spiritual a feeling to let go of. Am I trying to disparage capitalism in favor of socialism? No. I'm venting underrated issues. I want less billionaire money wasted on vanity. There's thousands of billionaires. The failure to purpose wealth is what I'm attacking. Conservatives should support me. They should know that nobody deserves unlimited power. If we can be more personal with each other on these issues, perhaps less will suffer. I imagine some wondering, why is this guy so arrogant? Does he think he's so smart? I just don't feel alive. I feel like a corpse animated by indignity I can't stop. It isn't like I feel credit. I just want to share the willpower I have left. I understand that if I become notable one day, it's because the right circumstance inspired me. We're not weak, just slated, and have every right to use all our feelings toward our projects. I cannibalized hate and revenge out of necessity, which may never change. If you write to yourself and speak your mind to open ears, I think it motivates and articulates you further. I just want to make more space for it. Earlier, I mentioned eternal youth. It's speculative debate whether Earth would overcrowd. But here are points to consider. Corporates and billionaires are the ones that largely decide the fate of Earth's resource and labor needs. So I hope we focus efforts on changing them as much as anything. The choice to not die of something mundane as frailty may even inspire further help and wisdom. Consider what the newfound purpose in life would do to our resolve. I feel billionaires don't care about this as much as I'm told. My idol, Dr. Bill Andrews, who pioneered a lot of research, was shocked at how little investment there was. Someone affluent tried to buy his lab to be repurposed, but was luckily declined. Social and technology innovation was most rapid in places with high life expectancy. So who's to say we wouldn't adapt better than we did with every past improvement in longevity? A study titled Demographic Consequences of Defeating Aging concluded that giving people the right to choose youth doesn't necessarily cause overpopulation. According to a 2015 UN projection, the only major region of the world that won't plateau or decrease by 2050 is sub-Saharan Africa. Because of how exploited for cheap labor and resource the place is, it makes sense to me. To conclude, I admit I can't stop believing in staying alive, because consciousness is the hope of fixing anything. After everything, I'll do anything to escape the entropy of the universe. I have to believe my worst feelings aren't there to ruin me. Those feelings gave me this project. On top of that, nothing has been more encouraging than someday finding my love to adventure with. And it leaves me no fear other than to fade away. I want love and chivalry to return tenfold. I want to finish school because it's my last chance to find someone beautiful who wasn't also disparaging. Though, just letting my mom start over again would be enough. It's hard to trust in a God. Luckily, I feel special support from the community that found my video. I thought the reaction would be half negative, but it turned out I wasn't found that awkward. I'd like to swear allegiance to that order of knights we've created for Discord. If I stay true toward professional fighting, I could legitimize the knights and all we stand for with real valor. It's a great feeling. Before I go, it's funny how two of the richest men have the same idea to fight as me. Elon and Zuckerberg are going to slug each other in a cage fight. For the record, I wasn't inspired by them. We all just understand the money and attention fighting brings to an agenda. I hope this wasn't too long, friend. I think I'm ready to get back to the journal I'm working on. Fight well. See you then.